Shabbat Shalom. Greetings to you, friends and family. Once again, you are highly welcome to Rabbi Shamba. This is Rabbi Shamba. The only one, blessed be is the Supreme, Master of the Universal, is a Supreme. Thanks for coming. Please let me share the link as you are here. The only one, blessed be is a Supreme. And he has ordained all the things that he has created and revealed some things to his creations, and some of the things that he has created are hidden. Concealed. He reveals to men how Yezara, which is called evil inclinations, works and function in our community, our society, and want each and every one of us to beware of it. There in it, he gives man. He gives man. I have a comment here in the comment sections from Akin Sami Isaac. He says, I want Elohim to provide mercy and money for me. Okay, what you are going to do is that you need to click on my page. As you click on my page, you will find my WhatsApp number there. Then I will be able to make an appointment for you to help you. So the only one, blessed be, is a Supreme. Is a Supreme. Is a Master of the Universal. He called upon the immortals and says, immortals, listen. My rule, regulation, instruction, stipulations I have given to you. Guide it so that the Yezara, which is called evil inclination, will not capture you in your way of life to your lands of sources. In it, we have the Torah in this paragraph. Numbers chapter 19, verse 14. What did this say? Numbers chapter 19, verse 14. What did it say? We read. We are going to devote ourselves, and the reason why we need to read is to bring out some point out of it. And the point we want to bring out of it is to understand how the Yezara, which is called evil inclinations, rule men in our society. Because the question arrives from this angle. It was pleasures to me to be here to share it with you. It's a discussions between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Abba. The both of them were taking a very good walk along the road. And Rabbi Abba asked Rabbi Yehuda, when the only one, blessed be, knew that Adam is going to sin, and he will punish him with death. At the first time, why did he have to create Adam? That was the questions of Rabbi Abba. Then Rabbi Yehuda also proceed to ask a very great question and says, Why does the people that study the Torah, the Holy Scriptures, day and night, also died just the way like other peoples who do not study the Torah? Then we now learned that the only one, blessed be He, explains some deep facts of this discussion. A fact that covers the both of them. I will read from number 14 to 20 for you. Listen to the word that proceed out of the mouth of these conversations. 14. This is the ritual. When a person dies in tent, whoever enter the tent and whoever is in the tent shall be unclean for 7 days. The tent of a man where somebody lost a person, the person who residents in the house. The Torah make us to understand that all and the visitor shall be unclean for 7 days. Now, if a man carry the spirit of unclean for 7 days, do you know how far where he has gone to distribute what is called clipper, negative human entities? When we are talking about negative human entities, then we have to dive into it to look for the husband of negative human entities. Is called in Hebrew Yezar Hara. Translated to English, it becomes evil inclination. He has a mother, a good wife, that is called evil lenant. That positions for that evil lenant is to take the soul of little born babies and also try to make man to have dream in the middle of the night. That is the works of the evil lenant. Now the Torah explained to us now, listen, that person will be clean for 7 days, unclean for 7 days. I read from 15. And every open vessel with no lid fastened down shall be unclean. When he's talking about vessel, he's also talking about a female. That is the meaning of a vessel. A vessel that has ability to receive. And in the open, anyone touch a person who was killed, or who died naturally, or human bones, or a grave, shall be unclean for 7 days. Now, imagine a person who is unclean for 7 days and goes from one place to another, from his house to his place of work. When he goes to the place of work, he dominates the place of work with negative children that has to chase away the customers away. When he's unclean for 7 days, what do you think? What do we mean by using the word unclean? What do you understand when the only one, blessed be He, says something is unclean? So let's dive into let's search the meaning of unclean. Before I continue reading the Bible again, for your own understanding, you know, we die of lack of knowledge, as the only one, blessed be He, have said. The people that He have chosen to dive into the Torahs, to teach the people on how the only one uncleanness, the biblical definition is more important than a secular definition, because Elohim's stand is higher than that of a man, and uncleanness is deemed to be something or someone that is not clean, 4, dirty, 50 or detestable before Elohim. That is what it says here. Then let's check okay, that is okay. Now I proceed. Some of the ashes from the fire of cleanness shall be taken for the uncleanness person, and fresh water shall be added to them in vessel. Now the Holy One, blessed be His, which is the Supreme, trying to explain to the human entities that looks, you shall not touch a grave, anyone who died, or the bones of a dead human entities, that anyone who do so becomes unclean for 7 days. And the 7 days of uncleanness is like a dirty, a filthy rag. When something is dirty, wherever you put it, it contaminates the place. Then imagine somebody who knows the rules and regulation of his father Elohim, and Elohim give him such an instruction that you should not touch the bone of a dead man. You should not touch a dead man. You should not go to the tent, the place where somebody is dead. Then if you do so by going, you need to make an atonement, which is called purification. My devout servants, study the books of Number, chapter 19, verse 14. There you will see what I am reading to you. So along the process, when a man is being unclean by touching a dead person or by touching a grave, it becomes unclean for 7 days. That is what the Torah says. So now that it becomes unclean for 7 days, anywhere he goes, when he arrives in his place of work, it dominates their negative children, negative children that will be chasing away the customer away from him for 7 days. Then the problem there is not for we to discuss about the problem, but how we can be able to put solutions to the problem. That is the primary assignment. Yeah, Shibata. Shais. I want Elohim to open financial door for me to be able to clear all my debt. What type of debt are you talking about? Your bill or your debt? If you want prayer, click on my page. As you click on my page, there you get my WhatsApp number. Then as you write me on WhatsApp, you write legit. Then I will know that you come. Then I will give you an appointment that will make the both of us to fix a prayer point. Then I will assist you, whatever that is needed for the prayer points. I will let you know. Then I will join you to do the prayer. Then once I join you to do the prayer, you must surely give testimony of what the Holy One, blessed be His, will do for your life. So that is what I have to tell you. So you click on my page, write me on WhatsApp. I will book an appointment with you. Then fix a date. Then after the prayer, financial breakthrough. Right? That is no problem. That is no problem. Elohim must answer our prayer. Now, continue with my discussion, my good friend. You know, the question began when Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Haba, the both of them, were taking a little walk along the way. They had a very good discussion. Rabbi Abba wanted to know the reason why the Holy One, blessed be He, created Adam, even when he knew that he's going to sin and is going to punish him by death. Why does he have to create Adam? That is the first question. The second question Rabbi Yehuda asked as well, why is it that those who devote themselves into the study of a Torah, they died like those who do not study the Torah? And the Holy One, blessed be He, explained to us with the interpretations of the Numbers chapter 19 verse 14 that says, anyone who touch a dead animal, that is Leviticus chapter 5, that talks about anyone who touch an animal, a dead animal, will be unclean. And in this paragraph is telling us that anyone who touch someone who is killed or who died naturally, or human bones or grave, shall be unclean for 7 days. Now, that 7 days that person is going to become unclean, do you take note of your uncleanness for you not to go to your office, your place where you get your daily bread? Because if you become unclean, you go there to your place of work after you have touched the bones of a dead man, or go to a place where somebody died, then the Torah explains here that it becomes a tent. When a person dies in a tent, that is what it says, that 14. Whoever entered the tent, and whoever is in the tent shall be unclean for 7 days. That is what it says. Now, along the process, the Torah also explains it without conceal. He explained to us that the solutions to this. He says, a man who is clean, take a sipo and dip in the water and spark on the tent and on the vessel and people who were there, or on him who touched the bones, or the person who was killed or died naturally on the grave. The clean person shall spark it upon the unclean person on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. That means that clean person need to do some certain things by taking water and sipples and dip it inside the water, spray it on the people who touched it, who touched the dead, and the people who lives in the tent. The people who lives in the tent is going to spray the water on them, and those who touch the dead is going to cleanse them for good 7 days. Listen to the word of the Holy One, blessed be He, because when problem comes, we do not know how problem penetrate into the lives of human entities, but we feel like we are dying, but we do not know that we bring this upon ourselves. And a lot of people are there waiting for a day that they can be able to blame the Holy One, blessed be He, that they want to put blame on him or her. But I will explain to you right now. Listen to what he's saying. The clean person shall spark it upon the unclean person on the 3rd day and the 7th day. Cleaning him by 7 days, he shall then wash his clothes and bath in water, and at nightfall he shall be clean. If anyone has become unclean, fail to cleanse himself. This paragraph now that I'm going to read is talking about somebody who touched the dead or who somebody dies in his house that fails to cleanse himself, that is what the Torah is saying about that person right now. Listen to what it says. I mean 20, verse 20 right now. You know, I'm reading from number 19, 14. Now I am in 20. If anyone who has become unclean fail to cleanse himself, that person shall be cut off from the congregation. What do we mean by cut off from the congregation? Can be cut off by receiving any good things in life, and the penalty can be death also as well. So anything can just happen to such a person. So that is what it means by cut off from the congregation. So congregation is a population of human entities. So when one person is cut off, that means it's not among the people anymore. So there are some people who are among the people on earth, but there seems like they are among the people, but not really. They are not. So, for he has defined the Elohim sanctuary. The water of lustrations was not touched on him. He is unclean. Then it becomes unclean. So the Holy One, blessed be, has finalized it. Then the 21 says, that shall be for them a law for all time. Further, he who spread the water of lustration shall wash his cloth, and whoever touch the water of lustration shall be unclean until evening. Whatever that unclean person touch shall be unclean. You hear? Whatever he touch shall be unclean. You see, very good way of understanding the Torah. When you read the Torah, then you understand the sweet taste of it. Then I will explain to you. You see, whatever that unclean person touch shall be unclean, and the person who touch him shall be unclean until evening. So, this paragraph now makes us to understand that any taint we lost our fellow brethren, anyone who resident in that house is unclean for 7 days. And anyone who touch the dead body and goes to the graves to touch the graves becomes unclean. In our midst, we find a lot of people who go to the graves and who touch the dead, the bones of the dead, the killed one, without a purifications. So you see what is wrote there about purifications, that if you do not purify yourselves, then you bring this trouble to yourself. So there are some angles we goes against the rules and regulations of the Holy One, blessed be, that affect our financial breakthrough. It affects our financial breakthrough. It disturbs our movement in Makut, the present world we are living. We are having difficulties to move ahead. Difficulties to move ahead. That is just the fact. But the Holy One, blessed be, is a supreme. He revealed to us secret of Makut, how we can be able to enjoy her life. But when we see a place where knowledge, wisdom, understanding is being spread, we don't have much time to listen to the good conversations that will help our ways of life. And there are also some words that says obedience is better than sacrifice. It will be better for you to listen and obey the rules and regulations of the Holy One, blessed be. It will bring a very good, profitable things to you. That is the fact. So, the paragraphs goes this way. If we find a place where a dead man is, the vessel which represents the woman and the brethren, the people, everyone that lives in that tent becomes unclean for 7 days. That is what number chapter 19 verse 14 is saying. that a man, somebody who is clean, is needed to make an atonement for those who are unclean. And it describes how he's going to do it in that Torah, for taking a sickle and dip it in water and sprinkle it on the people there, sprinkle it as they are going, so that the spirit of torment will not go along with them to torment them, because a soul is being separated from the form of body. And another form of body that exists is the serpent, which is the body we acquire right now, since the original spirit and soul has already gone to meet his father. So you need to do that by sparking the water on everybody sitting there. Then along the process, the person who touched the dead, or touched the grave, or touched someone that is killed, or touched the bones of a dead one, needs to be purified for 7 days. Then after that 7 days, the clean person that make the atonement, which is purifications, need to pull off his clothes and wash it. And during the times of the lustrations, whatever that is prepared for the purification, anyone who do anything by means to touch it will become unclean till evening also. So if you become unclean for just 24 hours, you might have go to different places where you are going to dominate by giving birth to negative children in that place. So that is the fact about that. But uncleanness means that you are going to dominate different things, negative children that will come to disturbs. What is it? Any question? Any question? Do you have anything you want to ask? What is your question? The only one, blessed be, is the Supreme. A review to man, the way of life. Now, such people need to make a purifications. Anyone that knows that he has touched the dead, or he has touched a grave, he has touched a bones of a human entities, or a dead animal, so such a person need a purification. Because as it was says in this verse 20, says, if anyone who has becomes unclean fail to cleanse himself, for that person shall be cut off from the congregation. So when we are talking about cut off from the congregation, doesn't mean that it's just all about that. No. There are some things that the person will be denied in the community, in the society. It might be hardship. It might be going to work, hearing nothing from the work, financial breakthrough, sickness. It might be anything. Because when he went to the house of a dead person, he did not make a purifications to purify himself. And he went to his place of office for 7 days. And these 7 days, he gave birth to negative children surrounded by him. And these negative children has no good impact in the lives of the human entities than to drive away your customer from you, to drive away the persons who are supposed to help you, because during the 7 days you acquire uncleanness, you are supposed to stay in a particular place and make an atonement of your sin according to the way the Holy One, blessed be His, have explained it, so that cutting off of a thing will not evolve. So I do not know how you people goes about it. The rabbis that the Holy One, blessed be His, have chosen to dive into the Torah, the Holy Bible, and teach and educate the people worldwide are no longer interested in Torah, because they says that if they dives into the Torah to study and educate the people about the Torah, nobody wants to care how they are living. Nobody wants to care, and the people that they are teaching will never come one day and say take. So that is why we have it these days, to see those who are truthfully devoted servants of the Holy One, blessed be His, that dives into the Torah day by day to hear from the word of their master. So if I do not dive into the Torah to devote myself, how will you know that touching a dead human entities can make you suffer for financial breakthrough? How do you know that if somebody touch a grave, or somebody that is killed, or an animal, how will you know that this can make anything happen to you in the forms of negative activities, as long as it is written here? It is the word of Elohim himself. You can go to study Numbers 19 verse 14. There you will understand. So if I do not devote myself to tell you the truth, how can you be able to know where the problem is coming from? So my good friend, if you have a prayer that you want to pray, you needed something, and you have something that bothers you in mind. My name is Rabbi of Elohim. I'm a rabbi. The Holy One, blessed be He, is a supreme. And I have introduced myself to you several times about my movements and my doctrine. I have explained to you several times. My movement is Elohim consciousness movement, on how we can be able to return our soul back to the Godhead, back to the Shamba where we come from. And the names of the Shamba of our souls where we come from, the names of that Shamba is called the Shamba of Bina. And there is a king in that Shamba, and the names of that king is called Elohim. Now, Elohim, which is the king of that Shamba of Bina, sees that men lost their souls and suffer in Makut because they do not acquire the knowledge on how to use the word, on how Yizahara, which is called evil inclinations, sense gratifications, uncleanness, the spirit of defilement, how they penetrate into the lives of human entities. That we do not know. There's a difference between when you read Bible, the Holy Torah, and when you devote yourself in it by meditating. They are different. So sometimes you can read the Torah, just reading, without acquiring anything from it. There is a word, the Holy One, blessed be He, says, a king rise up one morning and called upon his servants, and says, my servants, In a year, I want you to do 30 mention of labor for me. Then the servants accept the word of their king. And the king left. Then after 1 year, or completed 1 year, the king came back to ask the children the result of the 30 mention. He instructs them to mention. The students say, the servant says, my king, the land you give us to mention 30 mention is very difficult. We can only mention 5. And the king says, oh, you can only mention 5, but you're supposed to mention 30. Why do you now mention 5 in a year? Then the Torah makes us understand that all the human entities that resident in Makut, the present world we are living in, we come to Makut, the present world, for a purpose. And the purpose is for we to dive into the Torah, to devote ourselves by studying the Torah, the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, whatever your religions might be. If you are a unbeliever, there are also things you study to devote yourselves into the Holy One, blessed be He is. So along the process of that parable of a king and a servant is a parable of the servants, the children of the Holy One, blessed be He is, that is sent to Makut, the present world we are living, to study the Torah. And they say to themselves, I am busy today. I cannot study today. I will study tomorrow because I will have chance tomorrow. Definitely, you know there will be no chance. And even if there is chance, you cannot study the Torah. And even if you intended to study the Torah or the Quran you have with you, the day that has already passed, you cannot bring back the work. So, according to the lives of the human entities that resident in Makut, there is a portion of labor that the Holy One, blessed be He, has given to each and every one of us. So, the Holy One, blessed be He, is a supreme. Is a supreme. That is the fact. So, it's money. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you. Do you have any question? Shabbat Shalom.